Today there are interesting updates from the Russian Federation. Here the increasing number of warnings, which have evolved into outright open threats from Russia, has pushed the Kazakhstan government to take decisive steps towards establishing an alliance with Western countries. From changing key trade partners to seeking new military alliances, Kazakhstan seems determined to ensure its stability in the case of any Russian escalation. Kazakhstan, long considered a critical strategic partner by Russia, is increasingly distancing itself from Moscow's orbit, underscoring a wider fracturing of Russian alliances in Central Asia. Russia's interests in Kazakhstan run deep, with military bases such as the famed Baikonur Cosmodrome, a crucial facility for space launches. Kazakhstan's geographic proximity to vital Russian military installations and its abundant natural resources, including energy and minerals, have traditionally made it strategically significant to Moscow. Additionally, the considerable ethnic Russian population of approximately 20%, mostly concentrated near the Kazakh-Russian border, has periodically been leveraged by Russia as justification for exerting more influence or issuing veiled threats to maintain Kazakhstan's pro-Russian alignment. Russia used the same rhetoric to justify its war in Ukraine, which is causing considerable concern for the Kazakh government. President Vladimir Putin made comments about Kazakhstan's territorial integrity, suggesting that regional borders were a product of Soviet-era decisions and mentioning that Kazakhstan's current territorial makeup was not as historically valid as it might seem. The recent dismissal of Kazakhstan's pro-Russian defense minister Ruslan Shaksilikov exemplifies a transition. Known for his overtly pro-Russian stance, he faced domestic criticism due to various scandals, including alleged corruption linked to military procurement and controversial remarks during meetings with Russian Defense Minister Andrei Belousov when he declared the Russians for a brother people, similar to Russian narratives on Ukraine. His replacement by Doren Kosanov, former commander of the Air Defense Forces, signals a significant policy change. President Tokayev's swift administrative moves underscore an accelerated shift towards adopting Western military standards, demonstrated further by the country's increasingly frequent joint exercises with NATO nations such as Turkey and recent agreements with the United Kingdom. Growing military cooperation between Kazakhstan and Western nations underscores Russia's diminishing influence. The signing of a defense cooperation agreement with the United Kingdom marks a significant step. This agreement emphasizes peacekeeping training, English language education, and the enrollment of Kazakh officers in British military universities. Although officially presented as soft power initiatives, historically such educational and training programs have been Britain's strategy for cultivating enduring influence abroad. Kazakhstan is also already participating in NATO standard ammunition production projects, further illustrating its shift in defense orientation. Historically, Kazakhstan, alongside Uzbekistan, has provided substantial amounts of cotton used to produce nitrocellulose, a vital component in Russian explosives and gunpowder. Despite Kazakhstan's proclaimed neutrality, these exports were essential in maintaining Russia's military-industrial capacity. However, recent indicators suggest Kazakhstan might redirect key military production exports towards NATO countries instead of Russia. Such a move would represent a serious blow to Russia's ability to sustain its prolonged military campaign in Ukraine, reflecting Kazakhstan's intent to prioritize improved relations with the West over its traditional alignment with Moscow. Russian analysts and political circles have predictably expressed outrage, calling the steady reorientation to the West an act of betrayal and an erosion of Russia's traditionally dominant position in Central Asian security affairs. Additionally, Kazakhstan is gradually enhancing economic and diplomatic relations with the European Union. Discussions about easing visa controls are progressing slowly, but further symbolize Kazakhstan's shifting alignment. Although complete visa-free travel remains distant, this dialogue signals a strategic pivot toward the European Union. Moreover, Kazakhstan is actively exploring alternative export routes, such as the Baku-Tbilisi-Ceyhan pipeline, which significantly reduces its dependence on Russia for energy exports and could provide access to the European energy market via Turkey. This move not only diversifies Kazakhstan's economic ties, but also undermines Russian influence in Central Asia's energy market, historically a vital source of Russian economic leverage. Overall, the cumulative effect of these moves demonstrates Kazakhstan's increasing sense of vulnerability due to its proximity to Russia. Witnessing Ukraine's fate, Kazakhstan appears determined to avoid a similar scenario by building stronger connections with the West. This strategic reorientation reflects a broader regional trend, where members of the traditional Russian alliance are reconsidering their positions amid growing fears of Russian aggression. Kazakhstan's careful yet decisive shift toward NATO-aligned countries signifies a crucial weakening of Russia's geopolitical network and highlights a new era of uncertainty and realignment in Eurasian politics. If you are against the invasion of Ukraine and you want to support the work that I am doing, consider subscribing to our own independent news website. Here you can find our exclusive strategic insights, comprehensive overviews of all fronts, and regular tactical analysis videos. By subscribing, you will not only show your support for this channel, but also help and defend independent journalism. The link to our website is in the description. Thank you for watching this report, and I appreciate everyone who stepped up to join us.